Alright, welcome back everybody. Today I have for you, yes, another Spyderco. Had this one for a little while. I've carried it a couple times. The only time I ever carry a multi-tool is if I carry a self-defense blade that is particularly just for self-defense, so that way I can leave it as my go-to defense, I guess. And then the multi-tool is just something that I carry on me, so that way I don't have to use my defense blade for EDC tasks. But it's always good to have one knife that can do it all, you know. Anyways, let's talk blades. That's what we're into. I have for you today the Spyderco ClipiTool. Yeah, I'm not really a huge multi-tool guy, but multi-tools are very, very useful. It's just some multi-tools are not really pocket-friendly, I guess. So we'll go ahead and get into that. So right here, I got for you today a knife that I gotta say I got some mixed feelings about when I first got it. And not mixed feelings like I like it or I don't like it. No, I got mixed feelings as far as I thought this was a Chinese copy or a fake when I first got this. But it's not. It's actually it's a real Spyderco ClipiTool. I just kind of got a little, cause you know how it is. You know, you get fake ones that are so made so well, they could fool anybody. And you send it to the factory for whatever reason, and they send you a happy laugh right back, and a slap on the butt to tell you, "Hey, man, sorry, but you gave us a fake, and there's nothing we can do about it. Best of luck to you. Cheers." Type attitude. So, with that being said, this is the real deal, and I'm happy to say that I did get confirmation. I'm not going to go into that, but this is a great multi-tool. It's very simple in its design. There's not really too much to say about this. It has your primary blade, which in turn, being as a funky knife that it is, because you would think, there's no way, how am I going to hold this comfortably? You actually do, because your fingers actually fit within the grooves and the shapes, and there's no hot spots. I got to be honest with you, to me, there are no hot spots on this knife. That's a good thing, because multi-tools, they kind of have that, you know, because some things kind of protrude, and you got, like, this, I mean, I'm sure if I bear down on it and I'm really cutting into something, then yeah, I think that there would be some problems in the long run. But if you're using this minimally and you're not bearing down on it too hard and you're not really just, white knuckling it, then you should be fine. And this is pretty decently comfortable in my hands. It really is. And that's just using just the primary blade. And of course, you got some other good little fancy tools in here. Not much, but, you know, tools that you would need that you don't need a whole thick Vitronox for, which I have, and then you guys are going to see some of those. So you got a bottle opener and a can opener, a wire stripper, flathead. It's very, very simplistic in its design. So I'm trying to get the focus here. There you go. So it's not bad. I gotta tell you. And of course, the other ClipiTool I think is the one with it's like a different type of blade. I didn't want that one. I just wanted one that was simple, something that I can use, something that I would use anyways. And the locking on this, it's pretty good. Considering that the main blade has the liner lock and the two other ones are just slip joints, which is fine. Slip joints are good too. You know, the jimping is underneath, which is good. Keeps it from, you know, sliding all over the place, moving all over the place, would you? So, have you? Sorry. Improper English. And all of a sudden, it kind of just has that appeal to it because you have the spider holes in all freaking directions, so it just looks kind of wavy. um, like I said, I only carry multi-tools when I carry a self-defense blade. So whenever I carry this, I'm actually carrying the Spyderco. God, man, I just have so many. I forgot the freaking name. Spyderco. Not Endura. Matriarch 2. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Because the Spyderco Matriarch is a self-defense blade. It's got that nice little reverse S with the teeth and all that. So that's a pretty decent... You can't really use that knife for EDC tasks. I mean, you could if you're, you know, sawing at rope for at a dock, I guess, forever, and you just have to do that and whatever. I guess that's... You could, but they're not designed for EDC tasks. So when you have a knife that's strictly for self-defense, you might want to invest in something that can be a tool, so you have the, you know, balance of both worlds, I guess. You know, so it's a 8CR13 MOV steel, China. It's not bad. It's not bad. I frankly like it. The price tag on this, I believe, was between $35 and $40. If you're interested in it, I believe Amazon still has it. I believe it's still on Prime, so be good on that. We'll go ahead and we'll get into the specs on this multi-tool. There we go. You're looking at a 4.15 ounces altogether, so it's under 5 ounces. Yeah, it's a little heavy, but it's not that bad, actually. It's under 5 ounces, so it's acceptable. At least to me, anyways. 3.5-inch cutting edge, 3-inch cutting edge, and a 3.5-inch reach with the blade. And you got an overall 7 7/8 inches on the blade. And on these guys right here, I don't know if you guys want measurements on that, but yeah, whatever. I'll do measurements on it just to be weird. You got 1.5 inches sticking out on that side, and you got another 1.5 inches. So 1.5 inches on both sides of the tool areas there. I believe this is the can opener, and this is the bottle opener, and then the wire strippers on this side, along with the flat head right here. And you got a smaller, I believe that's a smaller flat head right there, if it can focus on this side. So that's still pretty decent. I mean, I guess you don't need all tools on this. You know, you don't need the saw edge, you don't need the little scissors, because you have a blade right here, which I always thought was pretty silly. You know, you're like, oh man, I need the itty-bitty scissors, even though I already have a primary blade. You don't got the toothpicks. Yeah, you know? I find it's kind of silly as some of the things that you find on a Victorinox. But hey, that's what they have, and I do have a few in Victorinox. I don't carry Victorinox all that well because they're not exactly pocket-friendly, and I don't like carrying a pouch on the side of my belt either. I just think it looks a little dorky. But, hey, that's, you know, whatever. So we'll go ahead and do the measurement with it closed so you guys have a good idea of how long it is in your pocket. That's a good 4 3/8 in your pocket right there. One thing that kills me, that bothers me, I love Spyderco. Love Spyderco. Their pocket clips, see that? That lip right there, it's just, wow, sticking up like that. When it's in my pocket, I actually got this caught on something. It didn't bend. Thank God I didn't have to, you know, take it apart or rebend it or anything. But it has the tendency, Spyderco, freaking Spyderco, they do this. It has a tendency to get caught on stuff. And I felt it got caught on something, and then I heard the snapback. I heard that, and I was like, whoa. And I kind of jumped back, and I looked. I put my hand on my pocket clip to make sure that my knife was still in my pocket, and it was there. It was in the opposite pocket because my self-defense blade was in the dominant pocket. So I instantly, I was like, whoa, I hope I didn't snap it, I didn't bend it. Took it out the pocket, looked at it, It's just the way that this is right here. And yeah, I could have removed this pocket clip, bent it down in order for it to be less aggressive, which I normally do when it comes to Spyderco pocket clips, especially on Enduras. They do that sometimes. And then when you get the more high-end Spydercos, they're not as aggressive for some weird reason. So I don't know. It's a little bit weird. But I've been really getting into the deep carry pocket clips. Especially if I can find one for cheap on Amazon, I can just get one of those and slap it on here if needed. But this is still pretty decent as is for what it is. So I barely use this on anything, so I'll show you how sharp it is, at least the primary blade anyway. And as all Spydercos, it is satisfyingly slicey, especially if it can do something like that. I mean, that's pretty intense, right? Good knife. Good knife. Good knife. I like you, I think. Would I ever use this for self-defense? If it was the only knife that I had on me and I had to bust it out for self-defense, then yeah, I would. I wouldn't recommend it because this is kind of a tool. But hey, each to his own. If you can, then why not? Another thing that I need to state, though, this knife kind of has the tendency to open. I don't know why, but every now and again, it'll cut. And I don't know if it's the detent seems fine. The last couple times I've pulled it out the pocket, I don't know if these were just catching, but I'll find something like that happen. Like I'll pull it out the pocket, and then one of these will be open. So if that happens, you can always tighten. You got the screws right here. You can always tighten those. Just keep that in mind, though. One of my buddies that has this knife, he actually ripped a hole in his pocket because it got caught, and he thinks that he kind of waved it out the pocket a little bit, and it caught on, and this little sharp part right here actually ripped a hole in his pants. And he's like, man, I hate the ClipiTool. That thing is a piece of junk. And I was a little upset that he said that, because the dude's a Spyderco fan just like me. So, and I asked him why, and he told me the story. And I haven't really had that problem. I only had the problem of my knife blade kind of popping up just ever so slightly. And I don't know if it's because of all these things that are just sticking out of the handle that are making that happen, which it could be, or it could be the pants. I don't know, or maybe it was the loose change or keys. They can get snagged in the same pocket too, I assume, with all this stuff kind of sticking out. But it all depends on how you carry it. So just keep that in mind. You can switch this from here to here. So if you want it, but it's literally just on one side. You can't flip it and put it on the other side because you got the screws there. But I mean, it's still pretty decent pocket, and it does carry pretty deep already. So you're only having about that much sticking out your pocket, if that. So I mean, if you're into multi-tools and you like Spyderco, this is something, and it doesn't break the bank. It's really a decent buy, and you get a good grip on there. And when you actually have to get this in hand in order to understand what I mean by the grip, at least assuming that we have the same, hand size. And I've got normal hands, so, and it feels relatively comfortable for a multi-tool in my hand with the full handle being the way that it is and not being too short, So this is actually pretty decent. That's if you're looking for something like this. And Amazon still sells the ClipiTool for Spyderco, so. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching this episode. I will see you guys in the next one. If you like this video, slash that like, stab that subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will see you later.